All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to TD Fans Talk. I am so sorry about the technical difficulties. We should be good up and running at this point, guys. I'm going to give y'all about 20 seconds to come in the room, and we'll go ahead and get started. Question, you gonna take any other? I'm commenting to someone asking me if I'm going to be at training camp. Um, that's the plan. But yes, we're live. Y'all hit that comment section, hit that like button on your way in the room, guys. Let me know who's first in the room. Make sure we don't have any problems on this stream like we were having on the last one. Make sure we're good. Make sure we get anybody in the room. Yeah, I know we're not having a lag that bad. I have no idea what's going on with this. Yeah, and I don't know what's going on. I'm not getting anything. What's up, Doug? I don't know, man. I've been having some technical difficulties today. I'm trying to figure it out, bro. But shout out to you being the first one in the room. I don't know what is going on. Can you hear me, Doug? I got you, bud. Yeah, everything is looking good. Cool. I don't know what is going on. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for a few people to come in the room. I know they're coming from my last stream. And again, I'm sorry to everyone for the last stream. I was having some technical difficulties trying all these new programs. I had like 4 things streaming, so I need to figure that out. I'll be figuring it out tomorrow or tonight. All right. So without further ado, either way, let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. The title of this video is why the Miami Dolphins, basically how they can win the Super Bowl this year. And that's right. TD did say this year, y'all. The reason why I even wanted to come with this topic, I already know. Haters, you're welcome. Come on in. Come on in, haters, and go ahead and tell me this guy's delusional. Listen, I didn't say we would win the Super Bowl this year. I just said how we can actually win the Super Bowl this year. So I want to talk about the things that need to happen for that to happen. Then I'm going to actually take a few calls once a few more people get in the room. And I want to hear from you all, and you all let me know, what do you think needs to happen in order for us to win a Super Bowl this year? And once again, last disclaimer, I know all the haters going to be like, this guy is crazy. I can't, this is clickbait, talk about Super Bowl, all this. Listen, we're talking about how we can win a Super Bowl. Now, first and foremost, before I even dive into how we can win a Super Bowl, we need to go ahead and get it straight now. People put too much merit on the wrong things in the NFL. They think that just because a team has a whole bunch of non-name players, it's impossible for them to win a Super Bowl, okay? Like, all the analysts are right, and all the analysts know what they're talking about in regards to the Miami Dolphins literally going to be trash this year. Basically winning 0 games, 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, however you slice it. That's what they say. That's what all the analysts are saying, that we aren't even going to be winning, all right? And I can care less because they say that every year. Last year, they say we were going to win 3 games. We were 3-0 to start the season. If it weren't for injuries, it would have been far above what they actually expected of us. Now, the Dolphins have to do a lot of things to win the Super Bowl this year. But the number one thing, okay? What's up with you, Terrence? The number one thing the Miami Dolphins have to do, first and foremost, is just stay healthy. Do you know how many decent teams I think we had that could have made a run in the playoffs had we not just stayed healthy. So all we had to do is stay healthy, but we just couldn't find that. We couldn't find that. We've had too many problems with injuries over the year. So the number one thing we had to do is stay healthy, okay? There's a lot of impact players on this team. I know a lot of people may not call them impact players, but there's a lot of impact players on this team that if they stay healthy, we can be a serious threat, okay? One being Rashad Jones, as we all know, coming off of an injury, all right? He's fresh off of an injury, so that's a concern in itself. Can he stay healthy? Xavier Howard, let's not forget, our Pro Bowler just came off of an injury, all right? Not Jakeem Grant just came off of an injury. You know, Albert Wilson coming off of an injury. Laramie Tunsil, don't forget the small little knickknacks. The small little knickknacks that he's had. And can he stay healthy? Daniel Kilgore coming off of season-ending injury after playing very well, might I add, on the O-line. Very well. Playing very well. You know? Who else we got? You can pick anyone, three different guys on the defensive line. Three different guys on the defensive line. Can we get these guys to stay healthy, and can we have a productive season going to war? Now, one thing I will say about the injuries, that's something that we have to be a little lucky about if we're going to actually make that kind of run that can get us all the way. You know, and I know some people are going to be like, this guy's talking about the Dolphins going all the way. I can't believe it. Like I said, if you're doubting the potential of our team, then how much of a fan are you? How much of a fan are you? I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that the goal for every single team in this league? To go to the Super Bowl and build a team to compete for it? Isn't that the goal for everyone? So when you come out there and you go into war, you're building your team ready to actually win. Win, win, win. That's it. And that's what I think we did. And what I love the most about it in regards to injuries, we built a little more depth. We have a little more depth. Safety go down, we got a replacement. Corner go down, we got a replacement. Linebacker go down, we got a replacement. I love it. Defensive linemen, don't get me started there. It's just too many of them. I don't even want to talk about them until training camp start, when we start making cuts. So I see who we actually even makes the team. I mean, it feels like we got 60 defensive linemen, however you want to cut it. So number one thing that needs to happen for us to make a serious run for it all, we got to stay healthy or have minimal injuries, because everybody has injuries. Everybody has injuries. Number two, we have to protect the quarterback. We have to protect our quarterback, whether it's Fitzpatrick or Rosen. We have to have great protection packages for our quarterback that fits the plays that we're running, guys. That literally fits the plays that we're running. I mean, you look at Adam Gase last year. I mean, there were times where, oh my gosh, it's 3rd and 15. 3rd and 15, right? And the defense looks like they're sending 6. He'll have 4 wide receivers out wide, virtually making the entire offensive line one-on-one. If you got 6 people coming to blitz and the whole O-line is one-on-one and you got tight end blocking help, and sometimes he would send 5 receivers out, and they would have, in some cases, they would have a free man rushing the quarterback. Free man coming to the quarterback. You can't have schemes like that. You have to understand game time situation, make sure your players understand game time situation, and make sure your quarterback understands game time situation for the best protection sets. I mean, to Tannehill back there, hike 1. Oh, I'm already under duress. We got to protect the quarterback. That's not just the O-line. It's also the coaching staff and the quarterback himself. The coaching staff have to make sure on plays like that, you're calling schemes where you're going to actually be able to get the ball off. You see the blitz coming, you have to be able to audible into a screen out of the formation you're in. Even if it's a bubble screen, whatever it may be. You have to be able to adjust on the fly. And that's what we need to do, man. That's number two. Number one is injuries. Number two is protecting the quarterback, giving them time to throw the ball. Listen, the Dolphins with time to throw the ball, that's a serious little combination, man. With all those weapons at wide receiver, with all the weapons we have at wide receiver, the Dolphins with time to throw the ball, man, nobody can tell me nothing. We are legit as it can be. We are as legit as it can be. And it is what it is, man. So number one, once again, is health, injuries. Number two, protecting the quarterback, guys. Number three, big-time players got to be big-time players. They have to show up. The guys we expect to show up have to show up. They can't have a decent season. They have to be their very best. They have to be their very best. Laramie Tunsil has to play his very best this year. He has to. Xavier Howard has to repeat a Pro Bowl type year. Minkah Fitzpatrick has to play like a second-year player. And what I mean by that, better than he was last year, and that's saying a lot. He has to take that next step. And that's legit. That is legit, man. That is legit if we can get Minkah to do that. Rashad Jones has to come into form. He has to come into form. He has to be the Rashad Jones that we grew to love. Grew to love. That's not it, ladies and gentlemen. Kiko Alonso has to be that guy that's all over the field and creating turnovers. These are all the things that have to happen. Have to. Kenny Stills has to remain the exact same threat he's been since he's been a Miami Dolphin. Doesn't have to be any better. Just remain the same threat that he's been when he was as he's been a Dolphin. Period. Jakeem Grant has to take that next step in form of when you get that ball, you have to be a threat. You have to be a threat. But another thing that has to happen, the big-time players that we don't know about, they have to step up. And I'm not saying we don't know about. We know very well about them, but they don't have that national recognition and have a big name. Kenyon Drake has to emerge as the number one back. He has to. He has to emerge as the number one back that's getting at least, y'all, at least 65% of the carries. He has to emerge as that guy. Devontae Parker has to be that guy that we hope to see, like we saw last year in that game when he came back. I don't know if it was Houston, but when he had a monster game. You ain't got to put together a monster game like that every week. But you got to at least average about 85 yards a game in a touchdown. 85 in a touchdown. Notice I didn't say 100. 85 yards a game in a touchdown. Be that threat. Sometimes give us 140 yards. Sometimes give us 60. But average out to about 85 a game. That'll be massive. 85 a game? Do y'all know how massive that is? 10 games and that's 850 yards. Period. That's over 1,300 yards after 15 games, 1,400 yard season. That's a beautiful thing. 85 yards a game. Truth be told, he could still be a monster for us with 70 yards a game. Just 70. But imagine an 85 yard a game, Devontae Parker, and one touchdown. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns that game. Rip Tupac should have been 3 if Brock wouldn't have overthrew him wide open headed to the end zone. But this is what has to happen. Mike Gesicki doesn't have to emerge as elite. Mike Gesicki does not have to emerge as a player if you were to rank him 8.5 out of 10. He just needs to emerge as a 7.5 tight end from a catching perspective, as a threat, catching the ball. Mike Gesicki has to emerge. We have to have tight end play. Aren't y'all tired of not having any tight end play? We have to have some good tight end play. I don't care what anybody say. You can say quarterback. You can say whatever you want. The weakest position we've been at over the last 20 years has been the tight end position. And I know Clay was on the roster and another guy or something. But the weakest position we've had is tight end play. That's another reason for a lot of our schemes not working. Lack of tight end production. Lack of holding the linebackers accountable. We got to have better tight end play. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm high on Gesicki. I hope it's him. But at the end of the day, whoever can get it done, get it done. I'm not even giving a favorite at the tight end position. Like, come on, Gesicki. Yeah, I'm like, come on, Gesicki. But at the end of the day, who wants to get it done? Come on, let's go get it done. Come on. Whoever it is on the roster that wants to get it done, if you can get it done, that's who I'm rolling with. We need better tight end play. We got to have better tight end play if we want to be successful. If we want to do something special. We have to, man. Just have to. All right? Not only that, guys, on the offensive end of the ball, last but not least, we have to identify by week 8 this year that we know who our quarterback is. We have to know by week 8 this year what direction we're going to be going at the quarterback position. We got to know by week 8. We got to know by week 8. If we're going to do something special this year, we got to know by week 8 what are we going to be going for the future. We got to know. We got to know. If Fitzpatrick is playing amazing and we're 8 games in and he's starting, the coaches should know by practice if Rosen is going to be replaced. Well, I don't think they're going to replace him for 3 years because at the end of the day, that's a win. You keep a guy like that on your roster regardless, even if it's a third QB. But we have to know by week 8 if we're going in the draft getting a quarterback first round or not. We have to. T.D. Parker do good this season. Do we give him that extension? Absolutely. See, Parker, let me tell you what I do love about the future of our team. Parker is the type of guy, if he has an emergence year this year, Miami might get a discount. Miami might get a discount if he has that emerging year where it's like, all right, well, don't forget, he's on a 2-year deal. Second year is optional, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, there's a whole bunch of contracts in my head. I know them all, but hopefully I'm not screwing this one up. I think he's on a 2-year deal. Second, only half of it is guaranteed, which means second year is team option. Team option. When only half of it is guaranteed, team option the second year, okay? But if he emerges this year, they're going to go into next year with him, but they're going to restructure. And you'll get a massive discount. Because do you think a Devontae Parker who has a breakout season this year is going to take the risk with his history, is going to take the risk and say, nah, I don't want to restructure. Let me just play that second year because I know y'all want me at this cheap price, and then I'm going to hit free agency. Not in the NFL. Not in the NFL. He's not going to take that chance. He's going to sit down and get as much money as he can, but it's going to be friendly for both sides. It's going to be friendly for both sides. So as far as him getting an extension, we're in the driver's seat of that entire situation. We're in the driver's seat of the entire situation, all right? And I love that, all right? But he got to show up, man. But if the quarterback position, back to that, we got to know by week 8 if Rosen is that guy or not, whether or not he's on the field or not. We got to know in the middle of the season. Period. We got to know. We have to know. Let me tell you why you got to know in the middle of the season. Because if we're boo-boo trash or whatever, which we're not going to be, Super Bowl, baby. If we're trash and we're not doing well, and you want to give the kid reps and then he's not doing well, you got to know by week 8, right before whenever the trade deadline is, all right, you got to know if you're going to unload Rashad Jones on the trade block. You got to know if you're going to unload King and Drake on the trade block. You got to know if you're going to ship Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson on the trade block. Because that's something y'all not talking about. Y'all think that players like Albert Wilson, who's going to be on, I know Jakeem Grant and Drake. I don't know. Albert Wilson, I got to check again. Maybe I'm right. These guys are on their last year of their contract this year. Albert Wilson making between 9 and 11 million, if I'm not mistaken. He's a weapon, but as you continue to bring in these young weapons, listen, that's something y'all got to understand. Because I don't want y'all to loop that. Not on this channel. I don't want y'all to loop the mistakes in your head thinking, oh, why would we get rid of an Albert Wilson? Remember, you have a smart front office now. You had one before, but you have a smart front office as far as Tannenbaum being gone. And now you bring in Flores and those guys. They cumulatively talk about these things. You got a smart office that's not going to be overspending for anything. You got a smart office now, front office. So you're mistaken if you think that King and Drake and Albert Wilson plays well but not great, and they're gonna just automatically be on the roster next year. You got a front office that can care less. We'll bring in the next guy. Oh, we're losing Albert Wilson. Well, Preston Williams has emerged. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. These GMs and these coaches, they're paying more attention about the guys who aren't proven because all year they need to evaluate, can he replace the guy that we have now for a cheaper price so that we can remain competitive? So that we can remain competitive. Period. That's what it's about. And we have to know midseason about the quarterback because we have to know that if we do start unloading people, like some of those impact players, how much value from a draft pick perspective can we get? And we want to know that early. And if we go out and get those picks early, now we can start flipping those as the season goes for higher round picks. For higher picks. So that when we come into next year and if we decide that we do need to go get a QB in the draft next year, it doesn't matter because technically we got 2 first rounders because we flipped them all into that anyway, and 2 second rounders and 3 thirds or something like that. They have to know that early. They can't wait for the season to be over and these guys aren't tied to the team and you lose them for nothing. Imagine week 8 you being 1-7. What purpose is it not to trade Rashad Jones for a draft pick? If Drake did not emerge in those first 8 games as that guy, and he's just the same Drake that we saw, oh, he's good, but he ain't that guy, what incentive do we have not to trade him right then and there? Instead of losing him in free agency. And letting Balaj have the remainder of the snaps for the rest of the season and evaluate him too, and whoever the third back is, can they emerge in that secondary role? This is why you got to think smart as a franchise. If it's all going downhill, it's all about evaluation. So we got to know at that quarterback position by week 8. And if we know that Rosen is that guy, whether he's starting or not, if we know that he's that guy, we got a bright future. But this year, I'm actually optimistically very positively feeling good, strong about the quarterback situation. I could see a miraculous thing happening to Rosen possibly starting and him actually leading this franchise, and we're literally proud. Literally, man. T, what are you smoking? Superbowl, LOL. Mike, man, I ain't smoking nothing, man. I said what we would need to do to win the Super Bowl. Here's what's sad, though, about that. Not with you, Mike, just in general. Because a lot of people are going to have those sentiments when they watch this video, Mike. But what they're not going to consider is, do you want to throw this whole roster away or something? You know, let me ask you this, Mike. What if everything I'm talking about happens? I'm not saying it will. Devontae Parker is beasting. Drake emerges as the number one back. Rosen beats Fitzpatrick out and becomes that guy. Rashad Jones has a resurgence. Xavier Howard returns to Pro Bowl form. Minka plays Pro Bowl level. Tunsil finally doesn't get snubbed. Balaj makes a formidable 1-2 punch. The offensive line is actually playing cohesively. Shout out to O'Shea. Oh my gosh, they're using Gesicki the right way. Kenny Stills is still giving us that work. Grant and Wilson still being that underneath threat. And look at every time Preston Williams get in the game, he shows a little flash. Bobby McCain playing real well in that nickel. I didn't even believe Eric Rowe was going to hold the other side down, but he doing a good job. This is what we talk about Jerome Baker and Raekwon McMillan. Finally. Now, I know that's a lot. But if that happens, if all those things I just said, y'all tell me in the comment section right now in the comment section, if all of those things I just named happens, we can't be a threat to win a Super Bowl? We can't be a threat to win a Super Bowl? I mean, isn't that what we built this team for? Everything I just named, isn't that the dynamic of what the team was built to do? Now, whether they do it or not is yet to be seen. We don't know. But we built the team to do everything I just named, and if they accomplish those goals, can we not win a Super Bowl? TD, that's more than a lot. I would agree with that too. It's impossible. I won't agree with that. I won't agree with this impossible. But what do you want a team to do? Isn't that what we're building this team to do? Everything I just named. And with great coaching, half of it is guaranteed. I take it out on a limb and say 70% of that is guaranteed with great coaching. The rest of it is these players solely putting that work in. And the Brady broken leg. That would definitely help, but at the end of the day, we don't need his leg broke this year. We gonna destroy the Patriots, man. And we gonna destroy him. But y'all gotta help me understand that. Y'all want me to, you see, people be like, you're ridiculous, you crazy. But what lens am I supposed to view my team as? This is my evaluation process. I sit back and I look at the offseason and I comment on everything they're doing. They did this, I comment on it, give my take. They did that, I comment on it and give my take. They did that. Oh, I comment on it, give my take, and then I go back to that first thing and say, I have a little more validity in that first thing now because look what they did. It's making more sense. But that second thing is looking a little far-fetched from what I said because look what they did. But it gave me a new picture of what they're building. I analyze our team and what we're trying to accomplish by individually evaluating everything we do and then putting it together and seeing where the attributables are. And that's the conclusion that I come up with. This team this year is counting on being successful by simply having a power run game. Nobody's been talking about that. But trust me, I know we got all these weapons at the receiver position. Nobody wants to talk about even the Patriots last year. Ran the ball more than anybody else. Nobody talks about that. Though they got Tom Brady who doing it all. But they don't talk about that. They don't talk about how the Patriots in the first drive of, I don't know if it was the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl or the game the week before, literally ran the ball, the 10 plays ran the ball in for the touchdown. We are predicating our offense off of having a power run game. And what tells me that is they're going to do a O-line by committee, not by a whole bunch of players rotating in and out, but utilizing the linebackers in a much heavier state. You're going to literally see 7 people on the line of scrimmage a lot. You're going to see seven guys on the line of scrimmage a lot. You're literally going to see it a lot. The 5 offensive linemen and 2 tight ends to the right, or 2 tight ends to the left, or 1 tight end to the right, 1 tight end to the left. You're going to see it a lot. 2 tight ends to the right and the slot, hugging them tight. You're going to see all kind of different formations like that, but at the end of the day, one thing we know it's going to get us is protection. 2 tight ends to the right, but this is a pass play. And one of the tight ends is going out on the route, and the quarterback's job when he hikes the ball is to start running right away, because where we want to go is to the right or coming back across. That's one thing a lot of us aren't used to with our franchise is schematic football. We're not used to schematic football at all. We're used to, we got the play, line it up. Oh, they're in that defense. Doesn't matter. We got our play. Doesn't matter. We got our play. We're not really looking at what they're trying to do against us. We just need to execute what we're trying to do. No, not now. We got schematic football now. How often do you see Miami Dolphins on the sideline with tablets? Yeah, they have them once in a while, but how often do you see them over there with tablets, literally with the coaches in the past? Literally, you see what he did right here? We're going to come back to that and we're going to try this and we're going to try that. No. You see him over there getting air, breathing, waiting to go back out. Every time it's a turnover, they zoom into the O-line. Every time we get a turnover, they zoom into our offense, and what they doing, sitting there, oh, we got a turnover, put your helmet on. They ain't holding no tablet. Oh, let me put this down and let me go in the game. Because we never really run schematic football. The only schemes that we ran was based off of film we watched on them from the previous 2 weeks. Versus in-game changes. Oh, look what they're trying to do to us today. Today, man. TD make the sports analysts look stupid. They make themselves look stupid. What up, Alec? Better guidance at coaching staff. It's either defense or offense, TD. What you mean, Bree? Maybe I missed the point. Yes, we are. What up, TD? What up, Jay? Brady don't need to be hurt. We still winning. Thank you, man. View them in the best lens. I try. I just evaluate what I see. We're building this team off of a power running game that's going to start to do some play action, and then we're going to open it up in the shotgun. We're going to be opening it up in the shotgun. And we're going to let the weapons go loose, but with protection at all times. At all times, man. What up, Chris Woodby? Fans have to be an offensive explosion or a strategy defense to make the Super Bowl. I mean, it depends on how you view offensive explosion. You know, running the ball down the field 8 times and throwing it 3 times, you got in the end zone. That's still explosive. Explosive in the NFL is no matter what you're doing, Can you stop it? See, people think that it's just going to come in the form of deep balls and bombs all day. We throwing bombs all day. The most winning franchise in the NFL over the last 20 years rarely throw deep bombs. Rarely. Patriots don't be airing it out with bombs all day. They air it out at times, but it ain't bombs. It ain't deep bombs. That's what a lot of people envision with Fitzpatrick this year. Devontae, go up and get it. Preston Williams, can you emerge to go up and get it? Kenny Stills, beat your man. Fitzpatrick, lead it to him. Or Rosen, I'm just saying. That's what people envision. I think you're going to see a whole different Fitzpatrick this year. Playing unbeknownst to what he's used to. Underneath routes and everything. How do you feel about the offensive and defensive line? Are you comfortable with them? Not Doug. Shout out to DDW. Doug in the room, y'all. Doug, I ain't worried about the D-line. I'm not worried about the D-line. One bit. Not one bit. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, this person's going to be a beast or that person's going to do this and that. It ain't how the D-line is going to be formatted this year. The defensive line is simply going to be versatile. Different type of schemes. Everybody do your role in your job. I'm not worried about it. The D-line is all on Flores. I know he's the head coach, but that's on him. The D-line is on Flores. What Flores can do with a defense, let alone a D-line, is a thing of beauty. We're going to be, and it's not about sacks, like Flores said, because they asked him at the podium. They said, you know, when we look at this team, you have a lack of depth at the defensive end position with guys who can get at the quarterback. And Flores said it straight up. And this is what I've always believed in football. I don't get people that always say, we need the people that can get to the quarterback. It's never been about getting to the quarterback. It's about disrupting him. Flores said, with the Patriots, our most successful defensive season with the most turnovers was our least sack season. Was the season we had the least amount of sacks that I've ever had. But it was our most successful defensive year. And then he went on to say, it's not really about getting to the quarterback. It's about disrupting the quarterback. Can you beat your man and get in the lane of where he's throwing and make a big body in front of him to make him get rid of it quicker because he sees you? Can you hurry him because he feels that pressure over here? He has to slide up. So his first progression, he can't even look at. You know? Can we look like we're sending 3 to the right, and when he hiked the ball, he automatically wants to shift left, but we got a cornerback blitzing from the left, safety coming down to grab that receiver, and the linebackers get out in the coverage back in the zone? Can you disrupt the quarterback? It's more effective than sacking the quarterback because you get more turnovers that way. You get more turnovers that way. You get more errors that way. So the D-line, no concern whatsoever. People are going to keep saying, you know, the lack of talent at the defensive end position. They're going to say that all season. No, they're not, because it's still going to be successful. Still going to be successful. People don't notice that about the Patriots either in the past. A lot of people drove the ball on the Patriots. Like, people are having successful drives, but they get turnovers at timely moments, man. Shout out to Tyreek Huggins. Keep it up, TD. I'm gotta take a look into your merch later on. Appreciate you, Tyreek. Y'all hit up the merch stores in the description below. In the description section is up and running. TD Finn Shop. I know some people said, bro, I want some more designs. That's just the first one. I'm gonna upload a new design every week. That's my base. I got 2 up actually. One, if you really want to show love, make sure you cop the inaugural t-shirt. That's the first shirt I ever made for the store. It's the inaugural t-shirt. Please, when you go to the store, just don't look at the logo on the front. Click on whatever item you pick and hit the back side of it because the logo's on the back as well. All right? All right, so y'all make sure y'all check those out, man. That's right, Bree. Bend but don't break. That's what the Patriots do. It's what they do. And I'm excited about this D-line situation. And to have that secondary with it, I'm really, really excited. See, what people don't understand, Doug, is the D-line this year, schematically, in the secondary, in the secondary, is going to make life easier for Jerome, Raekwon, and Kiko and those guys this year at the linebacker position. It's going to make it so much easier. You're going to see linebackers attacking the quarterback so much more now. But you're also going to see defensive linemen dropping back in coverage so much more. It's going to be a thing of beauty. And one thing that Flores has always done well with the defense is he may put 6 defenders on the line of scrimmage. And truth be told, he might only even rush 2. I mean, we saw in the AFC Championship game versus Patrick Mahomes in that first quarter, he got 6 on the line looking like they all coming, and only 2 was going in. But it's the 2 most unlikely. It's the 2 most unlikely. And they're spread out. They're spread out. And imagine a linebacker getting through to that second level back there in the backfield, and the running back is picking up the block. But the quarterback is immediately frazzled. The quarterback is immediately like, oh my gosh, they're in here. Even though he picked it up, I got to hit this first progression, but we playing tight coverage. And only 2 guys. See, guys, I've seen plays where a Flores defense would have 6 on the line of scrimmage looking like they coming in. Only 2 of them are coming in, and both of them came in freely. Both of them came in through the line freely. Only 2 guys rushing against 5, and both of them got through freely. I've seen it. Because when an offensive lineman is sitting at the line, he's evaluating everything he sees on the defense, and he's saying, this is 80% my guy right here. When that ball hikes, that's 80% my guy right there. Right there. All right. Oh, man, he's actually backing out and moving over. Okay, the linebacker right here is my guy. 50-50 now. Oh, he's coming back over. You got offensive lines messed up like this? That ball move, both of the defenders take a step forward, one of them engage, and as soon as the O-lineman engage him, the defender backs out. He said, I got you to commit to me, but let me get out of here. Let me drop back in coverage. The guy coming around freely. The other guy's coming around freely. That's how you go watch the AFC Championship game in that first half, why Patrick Mahomes was having a hard time, and it was a free rusher almost every time. This man took sacks for -14 and -15, -9, -3. It's going to be a thing of beauty. O-line, Doug. Let me answer your question about the O-line. I have no clue. It's still yet to be seen, but what I will tell you is O'Shea is going to make sure the O-line has all the help it needs. Say they do. Say we had the same O-line as last year with the injuries. With the injuries. Let me repeat that. With the injuries. Same O-line, we can all agree is boo-boo trash, right? I bet you if we had the same thing this year, it would look a lot better. Because they're not going to put these guys in those type of situations. They're going to have the tight end help. They're going to make sure they got the tight end help. They're going to make sure at times you have 2 running backs on your side, 1 and 1. And wherever it looks like the linebacker is blitzing, make sure you audible that guy in the flat. If they want to take that chance, I got a quick outlet. And if the safety's coming downhill to get that guy, one-on-one, let's go. That's quarterbacks being smart. A quarterback evaluating the defense and saying, okay, I got Devontae Parker with safety help in a corner. I got a linebacker sitting right here looking like he's stunting, like he want to blitz, but he's committing between a DN and a D tackle. He's literally committing. If I hike this ball, he can't hop back and get over there in the flat right away. He's going to be behind, and I got King and Drake one-on-one with that. I'm going to call it right away, King and Drake. Do you see this guy blitzing? Action, action. And I don't know what their signals are, but I would say action is you're not going to block him. You running right here in the flat. Action. If it's blocked, home, stay home. That's who you got. And when that ball hike, he hit that flat. If that guy had him, he going to have a hard time getting out there in time, committing himself between two defensive linemen like that. He'll have a hard time. Matter of fact, if the quarterback is even smarter, I will go up to the line of scrimmage and tell that right tackle, engage. Make sure when I hike this ball, you put your hands on that linebacker. Even if he escaped, it's just slowing him down a tad bit. You're going to have King and Drake in the flat with open field, with Devontae Parker blocking, with a safety that got to come from far. That's a first down, man. And if the safety comes down here right away, Devontae Parker already read it because you done audibled it. He got one-on-one. Get to work. Let's go. I'm throwing it up for you. Or it's a quick slant to you. These are the things, man. These are the things you got to be able to evaluate where you make a good defense that's rushing your quarterback obsolete. What do you think Brady does all day? That's all he does. I see the pressure coming. It's 3rd and 10. They know I need to get rid of it right away. But I'm going to render their defense obsolete. If they respect me and they play base coverage and they're not rushing at me with extra help, because we already got 6 on the O-line. So you ain't finna get in here in 3 seconds, not with this cohesive unit I got. So my receivers will have time to run their routes and we'll try to do what we can do. But if you want to bring that pressure, I'm just going to evaluate your defense and make sure I put it in the worst position it can be in. Guys, I promise you, the offense always have an advantage over the defense if the quarterback is smart enough to audible and shift his guys in a necessary position and call plays on the fly. If you have the cohesiveness with your wide receivers where you can literally adjust them and have them notice what's happening right now, you'll beat the defense almost every time. That is why Tom Brady's been successful all these years. I am one who always says Tom Brady is the GOAT, but only because he's a great system player, only because he has a brain he uses, only because he watches film all day. If you still ain't watched Tom Brady versus Time, go watch it. He evaluates that film like no other. And this is what he's doing. Look at him in this set. We could easily beat this set if I just bring the tight end from the left to the right, require that linebacker to not be a threat rushing in on me, because on this play they got to me. That linebacker will have a hard time getting in, and if he don't follow him, that means I got a tight end on this guy who can beat him with a little rub on this, that. That's all you do. You need that kind of quarterback, man. And that's what we need. Now, was Tannehill that type of guy? Absolutely not. TD, you heard it here. I said it. He wasn't that guy. But some people could argue he also wasn't allowed to be that guy. But you can have a counter argue that says nobody ever believed he could be that guy. I don't know. But you need that kind of guy. People think that these quarterbacks are just like some of these quarterbacks are like the Dan Marino. Let me tell y'all something. Tom Brady is not better than Dan Marino. Tom Brady plays in a better system, and he may be a little smarter. but he overall is not better than Dan Marino. I don't care if you want to debate with me and disagree with that. Tom Brady is not better than Dan Marino. His accolades would suggest that he is. Strong emphasis on the word suggest. His accolades suggest that he's better. Brady is far better than Marino. You done lost your mind, Mike. You done lost your mind. Pure, raw talent? You have lost your mind. Pure, raw talent, gunslinging, throwing that ball. People, I mean, we sit here and act like Tom Brady is throwing these 35 to 40-yard bombs on the money all day. We act like Tom Brady has the type of game where he's back to pass with 5 seconds and he throwing a laser 40 yards down the field. I ain't talking about the deep ball because his guy done beat his guy on the run. But I'm talking about those tight windows 40 yards down the field. Those spirals right down the freaking middle. Can he throw them? Yes, he can. But you ridiculous if you think he does that better than Marino ever did. You a fool if you think that. Tom Brady has made his bread and butter off of, I got that slot on. Hey, I read the defense. I know this little cut right here going to be open. Put it in the perfect spot. Got it. All right, next. Down. There. Hut. Oh, the safety just bit. I got him over the top. Got him. Okay. All right. Dig. Okay, this is what we're going to do. All right. We're going to automatically get this on this play. Height. Hit the flat. Got him. Automatic. Go downfield. All right. All right. Now we're going to hut. Oh, hand the ball off. We got another first down. Let's roll, baby. That's Tom Brady. Dan Marino sat back there in the pocket. 25, 17, 40. Not no 6, 3, 11, 17, 4, 9, 8. No. That's Tom Brady. Marino aired the ball out with great precision. Y'all crazy, man. Brady is not better. His accolades would suggest that he is because he's playing in a better system. And with his own words, he affords the luxury of having better players around him because he takes a pay cut. Let me put it like this. Do you see what Patrick Mahomes did last year? 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. When he gets on, because I think he's going to ball out like this until he gets his new contract. That's my take. Now, when it's time for him to get his new contract, if Mahomes goes in the office and say, listen, I know I can get it. I mean, it's 3 years from now. He's going to be worth, if he keeps this up, I know I can get me $40 million a year and make my team suck at the same process because we're not going to get any better. We're actually going to get worse. We're actually going to get worse because we can't afford all the weapons that we already had because of my contract. Somewhere on the team is going to suffer. When you go from paying a quarterback less than $10 million to now $40 million, where you think that $30 million going to come from? Some of the talent. So you won't have better talent around you. But I tell you what, if Mahomes walked in there and was like, hey, just give me 18 a year for a 6-year deal. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, here we go. Whoever don't bring me a pen in 1.2 seconds, you're fired. Sign this, hurry up. If he did that, Patrick Mahomes would end up being called the greatest quarterback of all time 15 years from now. They'll be saying Patrick Mahomes has finally eclipsed Brady. Patrick Mahomes will get himself probably just as many rings. Just as many. When you're playing in a system that's friendly and you afford the luxury of having great players around you because you didn't take more money. Come on, man. Y'all hit that like button. That's what it is. He is not better than Marino. He's not better than Marino. And anybody will argue you that up and down with me and tell me I'm ridiculous. Okay. And I tell you don't know football. How about that? Brady is the GOAT. I've said Brady is the GOAT. I said Brady is the greatest of all time because I factor in his accolades and what the system has allowed him to do. I say Brady is the GOAT. But if you ask me if he's just an individual talent, better quarterback as far as skill, throwing that ball, no, 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 not at all, man. Marino didn't have the run games that Brady was allotted. Marino didn't have the weapons around him his entire career like Brady. He didn't have the coaching his entire career like Brady. He didn't have those type of schemes. Plus, in a different NFL where you could actually touch a wide receiver. See, people forget that. It's just like the NBA. When they say it's Jordan to go to LeBron. Jordan played in an era where fouls, technical fouls were common fouls. Flagrants were commons. And commons weren't called. And Marino literally played in an era where the defense, there wasn't that much of an advantage. You can put your hands on people. You can be physical. You can get away with the jostling. Just fighting out there. You can hit a quarterback however you want. Drive them in the ground. You could do all that. He did what he did in that era. Nowadays, you on the defensive side of the ball and you say, Tom Brady, I'm coming for you. Eat flag. False start with words. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm saying? Marino is a better talent, but they don't judge you on talent. They judge you on rings. I agree. That's what I'm saying, though. I said Brady is the GOAT because of his accolades. And I said Marino is a better quarterback from a talent perspective. See, some people will twist that and try to make it seem like, oh, man, I ain't going to elaborate. TD, the question isn't who threw better passes. The question is who won the big games. The Patriots won the big games. That's another thing I don't believe in. Y'all make it seem like Brady won the big games. They team won the big games. They freaking team won the big games. You give Brady no offensive line that work together. Let's see how many big games he would have won. Put Adam Gase in New England. You think they win all those championships because they got Brady? How about y'all answer me that in the comment section right now? I can't wait to get a yes. The first person who give me a yes, get Ethan. If Adam Gase was the coach of the Patriots, they got Brady though. You think they win all them Super Bowls in the last 20 years? Answer that. Answer me that. Who won the big games? Y'all make it seem like it's just the quarterback. You make it seem like it's just the quarterback. You act like it ain't been quarterbacks that threw the ball right in the end zone to a wide open guy that dropped it, lost the Super Bowl. You act like that ain't never happened. Oh, you want to blame the quarterback? Chris Sports Talk say yes. Stop, Chris. Stop, Chris. Come on, Chris. I'm trying to promote your channel too, bro. How I'm going to promote your channel when you talking like that? Saying if Adam Gase was Brady coach. Really? Really? Come on, man. Will Dan win a Super Bowl in New England team? Y'all tell me. As a matter of fact, y'all answer that. OG said, will Dan win a Super Bowl in New England team? You know what I can tell you about that? Absolutely. Probably more. You know why? You know those moments where Brady be having them tough games where he get frazzled and he just throw it away? Dan ain't gonna stand in there and deliver that ball. Dan ain't worrying about getting hit. Dan ain't sitting there like, like Brady do. You know what I'm talking about. When Brady get it back there, he see that pressure, he just throw it. Like, come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Dan gonna sit right up in there, bam, and get up and limp. Let's go. Let's go. That's what he gonna do. That's exactly what he gonna do. Oh, I know you joking, Chris. I was hoping you was joking. Come on, man. He would have like 7 rings. That's the biggest atrocity ever that he has 0. If Belichick was the coach with Dan, hell yeah, Dan gets plenty of rings. Marino would have like 7 or 8. No question about it. No question about it. He'll have it. First of all, people forget Dan Marino was the one in a tough era that broke all the records. See, people forget that Dan Marino was the one who broke all the records. His best season was 84, the year before I was born. His best season was in 84. But they forget when this man retired, he had broke all the records. All of them. Do you know who came behind him and started breaking them? And it took him 2.5 more seasons to do it. Let me see if y'all know y'all football. Dan Marino broke all the quarterback records in a tough NFL, right? And there's one quarterback who played in the tough NFL and in this soft NFL, and he came and broke Marino's records, but it took him 2.5 years longer to do it. Y'all see if y'all know. Tell me in the comment section if you know. It wasn't Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning did it after, in about the same time as Marino, but in a softer NFL. Brett Favre, thank you. Brett Favre did. Took him 2.5 more years to do what Marino did. With several of those records. Several of them. Passing yards, everything. Several of them. Man broke records in the NFL and barely had playoff life. Didn't even go as far as some of these guys. Still was eating them up. Y'all done turned this into the Marino stream. Talking that craziness, disrespecting Marino like he was some second tier guy. Crazy, man. And then you had Peyton Manning come in doing it around the same amount of time that Marino did, but in a softer league. Nobody talk about that, though. Nobody talks about that. Breeze did it after Peyton. Still in a softer league, but I give Breeze his respect. Undersized, people doubted him, didn't think he would turn out to be that guy. Breeze gets the ultimate respect. I respect the way Breeze did it. But everybody else, man, they did this in a softer NFL. Breeze too, but I respect how he did it. It's crazy, man. They don't give no merit to stuff like that. They don't want to take that type of stuff into consideration that this is a totally different NFL. Totally different NFL. Marino is a Hall of Famer. That's it. What more can you be? What more can you be? He's a Hall of Famer, yeah, but what more can you be? What other highest accolade can you get? Champ, okay. Them champs still Hall of Famers. At the end of the day, it's one thing. See, for a player on an individual level, the highest accolade is actually Hall of Fame. People can say, no, it's championships. It's beautiful, but when they announce people, they say Hall of Famer before they say 2, 3, 4 time Super Bowl champ. They say Hall of Famer first. Hall of Famer comes first in any title. the Hall of Famer, Dan Marino. The Hall of Famer and 6-time Super Bowl champ. Hall of Famer comes first. That's the highest accolade from an individual standpoint. Higher than Super Bowl MVP, everything. Hall of Fame, period. And I don't care, man. When my Dolphins go to the Super Bowl, the Dolphins old Dan Marino, by the way. Matter of fact, we should only have 52 men on the roster every year, and Dan Marino should be on the roster, but don't have to play. So the day that comes, we do win a Super Bowl, he don't want a Super Bowl. We owe him that. We need to do that. Miami Dolphins need to be the only team in NFL history to only take 53 men on the roster. Because the 52 men on the roster, because the 53rd is on the roster, but he ain't never there. Pray to God that Rosen can be our Marino with more talent. Oh my God, everyone with bandwagon to the Fins. Man, I hope so, man. If anybody can be our next Marino, that'd be beautiful. But one of the biggest mistakes in the NFL is thinking that you're going to find another Marino. You're going to find another Tom Brady. You're going to find another Aaron Rodgers. You're going to find another Peyton Manning. You see what I mean, guys? People don't realize how rare that is. People don't talk about that either. Think about it. Name the top 10 all-time greats. Matter of fact, let's say in the last 20 years, top 10 quarterbacks. Think about it. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Who else we got? In that stratosphere is what I'm talking about. Guaranteed Hall of Famers. Name them. In the last 20 years, Brett Favre played in it. Anybody got any more? Can help me out? Guaranteed Hall of Famers. Any more? We just named 4. In 20 years, y'all, Matt Ryan ain't in that stratosphere. Great quarterback. He ain't in that stratosphere. Will he go to the Hall of Fame? Possible. Should. Big Ben? I don't put him in that stratosphere. A part of me wants to add him. I don't know if I really want to. Big Ben was great, but I still put him in the level. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, Big Ben. Okay, Big Ben. That's 5. 5. In the last 20 years? 5. Get out of here with that Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson can suck the rest of his career, and he may not go to the Hall of Fame. All he can do at this point is hurt his chances. If Russell Wilson today is considered a Hall of Famer, now I understand what you're saying, Dre Cray. If you're talking about the pace, if he can put together another Super Bowl or two Super Bowls, and still be MVP contention for 10 more years, I might even say 6 more years, then we got a conversation. But I ain't talking about guys who could, man, because it done been a million people we done said this guy's on pace. Hell, Patrick Mahomes on pace. You know? I ain't getting on him, Rip Tupac. I'm just saying he's not a Hall of Famer today. On pace is different from him being one right now. But we named 5. In every year, People want to keep on getting a new quarterback in the draft, trying to find something that only 5 of them have come in the last 20 years. That's the mistake people keep making. As a fan base, as an organization, that's the mistake you make. Continuing to waste first-round picks trying to find what only has been in this league, only 5 of them in the last 20 years. Only 5. 5 in the last 20 years. 5 guys. 32 teams, y'all. 32 teams, and it's been 5. But every year you want the Hall of Famer. You want the guy that's going to be the next Hall of Famer. The Ravens ain't have a Hall of Famer when Joe Flacco went to the Super Bowl. He was on pace, but they didn't have a Hall of Famer. But he got him a Super Bowl ring. More logic. Joe Flacco is a Hall of Famer. Oh my God. If Joe Flacco get in the Hall of Fame, I ain't discounting what he did when they did win. But if Joe Flacco get in the Hall of Fame, there's no respect for the Hall of Fame. Andrew Luck. I can't even say he's on pace for the Hall of Fame because will his career even work out from an injury standpoint? People act like Andrew Luck done put together this string of amazing seasons when in reality, he's thrown for a lot of yards, but it still hasn't amounted to anything. And I ain't talking about Super Bowl. It ain't got to be Super Bowl. And then you got a big old gap of injury in there. It's too little of a sample size to be even saying Hall of Fame. It's even unknown if it's on pace. Russell paid his offensive line. Yeah, with Amazon stock. He bought him Amazon stock. But they ain't going to get more money in contracts. He ain't going to hire the same team. They had to get rid of 2 of their best defensive players because of his new contract. See, I heard this on TV this morning, and the person put it the best way. I've never known how to put it because I've said this thing over and over a billion times to y'all, but this person put it a perfect way. When you sign a quarterback to a massive deal like 30 million, 35 million, and Mahomes will probably get 40, you basically say, here's 40 million. Our team has officially reached their ceiling. When you give when they gave Russell Wilson 35 million, they basically wrote, here's the ceiling for our team. This is the ceiling. It can't get better. All it can do is get worse and fight to get to the ceiling. But they gave him 35 million on a ceiling that was a 1-round exit. A first-round exit to the Cowboys. That's their ceiling. And that's what their ceiling is going to be for many years to come. Unless they become the best drafting team of all time, drafting in a 2-year period, the first and second round picks, they all show up, and all 4 of them become Pro Bowlers. That's what has to happen for Seattle to be more than a first-round ceiling at this point. That's what has to happen, man. Good question, Saint Nico. What Saint Nico said. Make sure I read it. McNabb is going to Hall of Fame, right? Yeah, McNabb will go to the Hall of Fame. But will he be a first ballot? Will he be first ballot? I think McNabb will get passed up on maybe once. He'll go to the Hall of Fame. Because you got to remember, players like that did it in the era where they didn't pacify you. He was one of the last of that breed. I think he'll get in, but he's not first ballot. He's going to be passed up a few. He put it like this. He's the Zach Thomas of football as far as a Hall of Fame perspective. Zach Thomas should have been in, but this is his. They keep on passing up on him. He keep moving up the charts on it, but they keep passing on him. He's the Zach Thomas. Should be in, arguable, but as new people retire and new talent, you'll move up eventually and get in, but you ain't first ballot. No Aaron Rodgers. Some might even agree with no Aaron Rodgers, but they're going to put him in. It's Aaron Rodgers. For some reason, to me, I don't view Aaron Rodgers like a lot of people do, but they make him like to be the best guy ever. Eli will get in. Let me tell you something. Eli actually will get in the Hall of Fame. He actually will. I wouldn't put Eli in, but he will make the Hall of Fame. It ain't going to be a first ballot situation again. He's talent like Marino, but with the ring. Nick Foles is Hall of Famer and the GOAT of Philly. You trolling now, Bree. He beat the undefeated Pats. That's why y'all trolling now. Hey, Nick Foles can turn up a Hall of Fame career if he go where he is now and lead him on that journey and make it successful. He could be. Not likely. I can't believe y'all saying Nick Foles is a Hall of Famer. Everybody that got a ring ain't no Hall of Famer. Gosh, y'all crazy, man. Y'all is crazy. Hey, if you ask me, Brady backup should be a Hall of Famer then. Say he was a backup for every single Super Bowl. He should be a Hall of Famer then, right? Oh, man. That's the chat logic in here, TD. You right, Bree. I ain't even noticed that. People think because you got a ring, you a Hall of Famer. You couldn't be more wrong. Zach Thomas should be in as he and Urlacher got almost the same career stats and accolades, and Urlacher is in. Well, Urlacher has more sacks. Thomas has way more tackles. But I agree with you. But you got to also understand team recognition and guy recognition. You got to understand that. Recognition is more important when it comes to Hall of Fame. If Urlacher was with the Dolphins for his career as the same time as Zach Thomas, and Zach Thomas was with the Bears, Zach Thomas will be in right now, and we'll be talking about how they snubbing Urlacher. Urlacher should be in right now. He had more sacks than Zach Thomas. I know Zach Thomas had more tackles, but it's still close. That's what we would be saying. And that's what I hate. Just like the Pro Bowl. The recognition gets you over the hump. Urlacher was a bigger name in Chicago than Zach was in Miami. Not from the fan base. I'm talking about from the NFL community. Not the fan base. We know how big Zach Thomas was for us. But for NFL, the big brand of NFL, Urlacher was bigger in Chicago, meant more to Chicago than Zach meant to the Dolphins. And as a Dolphin fan, no, he meant more to us. That's from your perspective. That recognition goes a long way. That's all I'm saying, Whitson. You spot on. Brian was more popular. But what made him more popular? Urlacher in that defense. Who else played in Urlacher's defense? Who else was a big name playing in Urlacher's defense? Anybody know? Who else was a big name? that had NFL recognition. They had NFL recognition. The defense now. Briggs. Was Briggs bigger than Urlacher? You're right, TD, about Zach Thomas. What really kept Zach from the recognition was he was in the same conference as linebacker Ray Lewis. That too. Pepper, you mean Peppers. I don't know why. One or the other. What's the Mark brothers they should be in? No one was bigger than him. He was big, not as big as Brian. But that's my point. Urlacher was the biggest thing on that defense. The beauty for him is everybody behind him was almost just as big. But he was the Urlacher in that defense. When they said the Miami Dolphins, they didn't say Zach Thomas in that defense. They said Jason Taylor in that defense. Am I wrong? Some of y'all fans, historians, am I wrong? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Am I wrong? Whose name did they call first? Zach or Jason Taylor as bigger recognition? That's the difference. That's the difference. Urlacher was the head. With Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor was. Jason Taylor was. And it didn't work to Zach's favor, man. It didn't work to Zach's favor. But y'all, I know I keep going, but listen, man, I done already explained to y'all what needs to happen for the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl this year. Will it happen? I mean, a realistic part of me says it's going to be very hard. It's so many things that have to happen. But I can't wait for all the haters to come in the comment section and start saying, you done lost your mind saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. That ain't what this video was about. It was about what needs to happen in order for us to actually win it. And nobody's disputing that if all of those things that I named happens, we got a good chance at winning the Super Bowl. The only issue in the argument is it's almost impossible for all of those things to happen because a lot would have to happen. But I already know what's going to happen in that comment section. So if some of y'all see the video later and y'all in the comment section, I ain't even going to respond. Y'all defend me, man. Y'all defend me for these people that don't even watch the whole video before they start talking about you ridiculous. You ain't wrong because Zach playing with Jason Taylor, Tim Bowens, Patrick Surtain, yes, Sam Madison, Sammy Knight, yes. Yes. This TD Fans Talk, y'all. I got to get out of here and go get my boys. I love y'all. Appreciate your love and support. Y'all be sure to check out TD Fin Shop, my new merch store. The link is in the description below. Make sure you subscribe, share the video. Thank everybody for tuning in to the channel. Hit that like button on your way out if you haven't already. It's 31 in the room right now, only 17 likes. Y'all hit that like button. Again, even if you don't want to purchase anything, go check out my merch store. Give me some feedback in the comment section on what you think about it. And again, it's limited right now, but like I said, it's so much more that's going to be coming. One design every week. So y'all stay tuned. But if you do show your love and buy something from the TD Fin Shop store, appreciate you, love you, and thank you for keeping me going. Love y'all, man. I'll see y'all later. Peace!